Hi everyone and Assalamu alaikum. Your sister, your host Sidra Amin is once again here with the revert story of another sister from UK. She is a strong, honest and deeply reflective woman whose life took an unexpected turn from quiet disbelief to meaningful faith. After spending 13 years in a complicated relationship and becoming a mother, she found herself questioning life, purpose, and spirituality in ways she never had before. She began a simple effort to understand Islam for the sake of her child, slowly became a journey of clarity, courage, and self discovery. And today, she stands as a Muslim.
Hey guys, I just wanted to come on and tell you a bit about me and how I went from being a Christian to becoming a Muslim. It all started when I was in an on and off relationship with my ex partner, the father of my children. We were together for about 13 years. We never had any kids during that whole time, and then suddenly I became pregnant. I honestly thought I couldn't have children, which never bothered me before. I'd gotten used to the idea. I was a bit selfish back then and didn't want to share my life like that or have kids at all, and look at me now. Their father is a Pakistani Muslim, and he never tried to convert me or pressure me. He was always happy with me just being myself. When I got pregnant, things were okay, but after I had Jamal, he told me that he wanted him to be raised as a Muslim. He said, "Look, your daughter is going to be helping raise him. I don't live with you, so you need to raise him as a Muslim." I never really followed any particular religion. I was christened in the Church of England. I always believed in a God or a higher being, but I didn't believe in religion. I honestly thought it was all man made rubbish. So I thought, why not? It's not going to affect my sensibilities. And it was clearly important to him. I started looking into it. I began reading the Quran, and I read an article in a newspaper about a policewoman in Eccles who converted and was doing her job wearing a headscarf. A man had helped her answer loads of questions. So I messaged this man, Zora, on Twitter and asked him my questions. He invited me to his house. I went, had food with him and his wife, and we got to know each other quite well. They made me feel included. His wife taught me how to put the headscarf on. I actually wore the headscarf before I became Muslim, and I thought, if I can do that, I can do anything. He answered every question I had about violence, media stereotypes, everything. What he said made so much sense. Up until then, my only knowledge of Islam was what the media showed, and it terrified me. Women being beaten, people being stoned for saying the wrong thing. But it's nothing like that, not even close. As I continued reading the Quran, I realized that my life was already kind of on that path. I didn't go out clubbing or drinking or partying. I'd only gone clubbing for the first time at 24. I'd been out once before with my mum when I was young, but that hardly counted. When I finally did go out properly, the scene just wasn't for me. I did it for about a year, but I'm the kind of person who can take it or leave it. I always dressed modestly anyway. I'd wear vest tops sometimes, but always with pants, never shorts. Ever. It wasn't even insecurity. That was just my style. Even now as a Muslim, I mostly wear darker colors. I dye my hair black. I wear black, copper, white. I look like a goth without being a goth. And yes, that tapping you heard in the background was the kids doing their usual chaos. I feel like I dress better now. I have more freedom in my own mind. I've lost my train of thought thanks to the boys running around. But yeah, I was already on that path. I didn't go out much, dressed modestly, even ate halal food because the butcher's is cheaper than the supermarket. We've got loads of halal butchers nearby, but no English butchers unless you count Tesco or Asda pre-packaged meat. I do miss my bacon though. When someone's cooking it, I just want to knock on their door and breathe it in. That's honestly the only thing I miss. So I thought, if I already live this lifestyle, the only things I need to add are the headscarf and the prayers. So why not just take my Shahada, the testimony of faith, declaring that there's only one God and Muhammad is his messenger. Before doing that, I started wearing the headscarf because I wanted to see if I could handle it in my own rough area where people are stubborn with their opinions. If I could do it as a non-Muslim, I knew I could do it as a Muslim. When I get into something, I go all in tunnel vision. Not extreme, but I always want to do my best. That was the last barrier, so I did it. I actually enjoyed wearing the headscarf. I hated taking it off. Even now, I don't like looking in the mirror without it on. My hair is thin and stringy. With the scarf, I just look normal. 2 weeks after taking my Shahada, I found out I was pregnant, about 6 or 8 weeks. Life got rough after that. My mom and I argued a lot. She didn't understand the changes I was making, and I didn't understand how she didn't understand. We clashed for a while. It wasn't her fault, and it wasn't mine. It was a massive change for both of us. I had just had Jamal the year before. I was still emotional, my body wasn't fully healed. I got pregnant again, and on top of that, I changed my entire faith and routine. Praying 5 times a day and building a disciplined lifestyle is a massive adjustment. I always believed in a higher being and that we were created, but I never had an anchor. Islam gave me that anchor. I used to get depressed and even harmed myself. The hospital once threatened to section me if I attempted suicide again. Now, even though I still get down sometimes, I never sink to that level because of my children and because I know what comes after death. I don't want to spend eternity reliving suicide. Islam helps me reason with my emotions. Whenever I feel lost, I read the Quran or Islamic texts. There's a book called Don't Be Sad, filled with Quranic verses and reminders like, God never gives you more than you can handle. Reading things like that puts your whole life into perspective. The routine of praying makes me feel lighter. When I pray, I feel better. When I'm on my monthly cycle and can't pray, I feel down again because I miss that connection. Even though I can still make normal dua, it's not the same as the structured prayer. Islam has been overwhelming but brilliant. I understand myself better now. I understand how to be a mother better. I used to go to Sunday school as a child and hated how, whenever I asked a question, people would say, "You just need to have faith." I once asked about the headscarf. The answer was basically, just have faith. But the Bible itself says women should cover or shave. Some people would quote Old Testament, others New Testament. It was all confusing. I like order, structure, clear guidelines, one of the reasons I wanted to join the army. I love routine, I love black and white clarity, I struggle without it. The just have faith answer never worked for me, except for things like angels or the afterlife, things no one has seen. But for logical, everyday questions, I needed logical answers. Islam gave me that. Even things science confirms now, like how a child forms inside the womb, were already written in the Quran. There are receipts for what's said. I love that. People often ask if I became Muslim for a man or a husband. Absolutely not. I've never been married. I was with him for 13 years before I became Muslim. I looked into Islam for my child, not for him. And now that we're no longer together, people ask why I'm still Muslim. Because I did it for myself. This is my relationship with God. My journey, not his. I'm not stopping my journey because my ex isn't around. I've had random abuse too. Walking down my own street, someone yelled, "Go back to your own country." I've never left my country. I was born 5 miles away. I go there every week for the market. People online told me I'm an embarrassment to my ancestors. But my ancestors fought in world wars for freedom. Freedom to be who we want. This is me expressing that freedom. Others said, "You need to believe in Jesus?" And I'm like, I do. Jesus is mentioned more times in the Quran than Prophet Muhammad is. He might even be mentioned more in the Quran than he is in the Bible. Believing in Jesus is part of being Muslim. We even have an entire chapter named after Mary, Jesus' mother. She has her own chapter, while many Christians don't even realize that. And then there's the whole Islam oppresses women thing. Women are honored. Mary has her own chapter in the Quran. How is that oppression? Everything people throw at me now are things I used to think myself, so I don't blame anyone. But once you look into it properly, you realize those assumptions are completely wrong. I'm very happy with my choice. Inshallah, God willing, I will always be Muslim, and I pray I die a Muslim. My children will be Muslims, and their children too. I believe that to be a Muslim, you actually have to be the best Christian. The rules are the same: be good, help people, give charity, pray, believe in one God. Islam is just more detailed in how you do things like washing or praying. But the core is the same. It's like sibling religions. They're the same family with small differences. I've rambled enough. The kids have been unusually quiet, so I should check on them before they flood the house. They love playing with water. Thank you for watching. I hope this made sense. If you want to comment below, feel free. If you prefer to message privately, my email will be below. I'll always reply honestly. The only thing I won't answer is anything about my ex-partner. We are still friends, and I'm not putting him on YouTube or sharing his personal life. We co-parent the best we can. I believe in privacy, especially when it involves other people. Anything else, comment or email. Thanks again for watching.